your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go, and go, and go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the old to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. Eastside homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay. Hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up your Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it, work it, work it out. Turn the volume up loud. It's a draw crowd. Make it all shout. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback. Tom Brady. Got you all in the frenzy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA.
Hey, mama. What's up, KG? What's going on, fam? What is going on? It is Tuesday, 8:03. A minute early. See, 8:04 for me is on time. So when we hit a little earlier than that, I think we winning. I think we're on a good foot when we come in prior to 8:04. Anyway, what's going on, good people? It is Tuesday and it is time for another Scoop Show. And we are so glad that you have taken a few minutes to come on in this room and hang out with us and join us for this good conversation. We have got a great lineup for you this evening. We've got some really good starters to get the conversation going. Some provocative, introspective type questions. So get your thinking caps on and get your Twitter fingers ready because we want to hear your thoughts this evening on these topics. If you are new here, welcome. If you would please, if you're fam or if you're new, whatever the case may be, y'all know what to do. Go ahead and put your city and state in the comment section if you would be so kind. We'd like to know where you are tuning in from, where you're repping. So if you would go ahead and do that for us, we would so greatly appreciate it. And while you are getting that in there, go ahead and tap that share button and let your main line know where you're going to be hanging out on this evening, because if they are your people, we are inviting them to become our people. Okay, if they're good with you, they're good with us. Okay, so go ahead and share that share this live on over to your page so that the people can come on and join. Say, come on, y'all, time for the scoop, time to get the chat on, and come on in here and get comfy. Okay, so once you drop your city and your state, you hit that share button for us. We also want to make sure that you are able to tap in when we are logged off. Okay, or if you decide that you got to log off before we are finished this evening, we want to give you a chance to go ahead and tune in for that good replay. Okay, we are out here in these social media streets. We want to provide many ways, many options. We like options these days, so many options. So we want to do that for you at the Scoop. Okay, so we invite you to go ahead and click the thumbs and the bells and the likes and all of the things on all of the pages, and here they are. No, you can follow us on. We got to get some music.
Something like that.
Yep, we got to get all this stuff. But you can follow us on YouTube at The Scoop Show. You can follow us on Facebook at Real Scoop Show. You can hit us up on IG at Scoop Radio Show, where lots of the chat happens. And you can now listen to us. We all understand that you can't always watch, but you can also listen to us now on SoundCloud by searching at The Scoop Show. All right, so we out here everywhere, y'all. You see how them got icons, okay? Icons. So yeah, and in addition to following us on the social media, engaging with us, you can do it. You can go one step further, okay? These hot topics that we're about to get into here in just a few minutes that I was talking about, those are often you generated. Okay, we are the scoop for the people. All right, so we always invite you guys to send us the things that got you lost in the sauce. If you find yourself deep diving into a topic in the comment section, you going back and forth, we want to see. Okay, slide that link into our DMs and let us know what you're talking about, what's got your brain moving, because our listeners, our viewers, our followers may want to engage with that also. Okay, and if we really get it popping on the scoop side of things, you'll see it here on the show. Okay, we're gonna take this thing worldwide, Craig. Okay, so your topic could be the one that gets up on the big screen. All right, so straight out of the inbox, when you see that icon either on a post or here on the show, you already know this one was generated by you. All right. And we thank you. Thank you. We can't be everywhere. Okay. We got stuff to do just like you. So between all of us, we can move and shake through these internets and get in, and we come together with a nice little love show, don't you think? All right. So straight out of the inbox, social medias. Did I get it all? Did I get it all?
You got it.
We in there. All right. How you doing, bro? How you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Good day. I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
I'm good. That's the word for the day. I'm good.
Good. Okay.
How you doing?
I am. Listen, I'm gonna switch it up. I am amazing today. I have had a really good day. I've been bebopping throughout the building. I got quite a bit of stuff done. I was crossing off my to-do list, and had some really good conversations, and I'm good.
I've been knee deep in ClickFunnels Street, and so today. So.
Look! You see what that just did to me? I was about to say I was clicking on all my Q cylinders, and then you said ClickFunnels, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I have zero interest in ClickFunnels today.
I'm like, I'm like, I need to hire somebody to do this.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Hire somebody. Yes. We getting it. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, that's what we forgot.
Don't segue. You better segue.
Speaking of,
I don't know if you caught my eye. I was like,
So, if you have not heard, of course, we have launched our Patreon, the Scoop Patreon. So, if you want to support our growth, as Q said, because we are going worldwide, and you want to be supportive of our growth, as well as get even more exclusive content from us, then we want you to join again our Patreon. So you can go over to patreon.com/Real Scoop Show and pick one that you want. So we have half scoop, full scoop, and double scoop. Half scoop being that you get private community. In our private community, you get private live streams. Full scoop, you get the same as the half scoop, but you also get 20% off of merchandise, as well as early access to events. And then there's that double scoop, which is the one I recommend, that you get all of that, plus you get shout outs during the show. You get double scoop only events, such as our Scoop of Sex, plus our private interviews with some other experts that we've got lined up. So you do not want to miss. So go to patreon.com/Real Scoop Show now and become a part of the Scoop Nation on Patreon. Real Scoop Show on Patreon. And shout out to Dre. Let me just go ahead and say this. Shout out to Dre Dowdy for, of course, being the first one to join.
Per usual, the pioneer of support. Yep.
He texts me, hey, send me that link.
Yeah. Yep. It's my boy.
I
He
looked
was
up,
he was in the chair and talking about, oh yeah, I already did that. I was like,
first one.
oh.
First one. I said, my guy Dre.
Yep.
So,
And we know you're gonna be checking this replay, Dre. So the love is real. And thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, you ready to get into these hot topics?
Yes, please. Let's do it.
Hey, Auntie, how you doing?
Hey,
All right.
Auntie.
Let's go ahead and jump into these. So this first one was actually, this one was mine. Yeah, I saw a meme about it and sent me on a tangent. So hey, it's what I do. It's what I do. So it says there's this post that says something like, "Until Black men and women have honest conversations, we won't heal." I think most agree, but we disagree about what conversations we need to have. I think we need to have honest and raw conversations about one, how our past relationships shaped us and left us. Two, what a healthy relationship looks like to us. Three, how we value money and our attachment style. What conversations do you think we need to have that will help us heal? So, like I said, this was my attempt to push along the conversation because, as Q and I have talked about quite a bit here, we know we need to do something different. We also recognize, by and large, most of us, that we need each other,
Yep.
but we also recognize that we're hurting. And I'm speaking as a whole culturally. We are hurting. We are trying to figure out where we're missing each other, and so, yeah, so to me, I think those are a couple of the areas that we're missing that we need to really start talking about that will help us, number one, have a better understanding of what we're saying when we're saying it. And number two, to help us look in the mirror to see how we are contributing, or maybe not even contributing, but just not helping heal in these said areas. So, what are your thoughts, Q?
Very good. Very good. Um, so I like the way you set up this post. This doesn't feel very tangenty, just so you know. This felt like, yep,
Thank
this
you.
is what we need to be talking about. Yeah, this doesn't feel like a tangent. Just but yes, these are very good questions that we should be asking and having these types of conversations. Because not only do they help us to understand each other better, like as far as you and I potentially being partners in a relationship, it also helps to normalize expressing needs and feelings and how we prefer to be engaged. The more that becomes natural and expected and normal, we it's not so it's not weird. Like there are people, because it is so new, that people want to know these things and know the words to put to them to get to say, no, this is what I'm after, not
Mhm.
that. I want to know this. That is kept
Mhm.
because it is so new. It's still it's currently put in this weird thing or doing too much. You know, you trying to psychoanalyze me. No, I'm trying to get to know you. You might not have thought about this. Well, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And be able to dig into the people that you're attempting to spend any amount of time with.
Mhm.
Because what I've learned is there are times that um, people date and don't do forever, but that doesn't mean they don't have any type of relationship going forward. Lots of folks decide we should not date, but we are absolutely cool as friends. You know what I mean? And can have good relationships and good friendships going forward. That doesn't mean you automatically forget all the stuff that you learned
Correct.
while having those conversations. That doesn't make them null and void. They go into a different level because now it's not a forever type of thing. Like I need to do this with you day in and day out, but I
Right.
do need to be cognizant that this is the type of person you are, and at any
Right.
given point, this is how you go. This is what you need. You know what I mean? So that is what I really get from this. I think yes, all of your questions are on point and need to be discussed. But I think just having these discussions in general is necessary for the normalcy of it. We've got to normalize expressing ourselves instead of just emoting, You know, we got to put words to all of this. Deal with me in real time. Like,
Right.
oh,
Because
oh, okay.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I think we're like part of the reason why we, for me at least, why it makes sense to have some type of like bullet points to start is, like you said, is that because this is still so new, I think a lot of times we get caught in the trap um, of how I say this, of how we feel and not the outcome that we desire. So I think a lot of times we're saying, I don't feel protected. I don't feel protected. I don't feel protected. I don't feel honored. I don't feel honored. I don't feel honored. But we never get to, okay, define honor. You define honor for me. And what about what we're doing does not feel honorable?
right.
And what would feel, we don't get into those things. And like you said, to your point, even if the relationship were not to last, or the relationship stopped at a friend, at least now you have a better understanding. Sorry, I got food in my teeth. Sorry, that was cilantro. Who the person the tacos,
Taco
who the person is, and on a friend level, now at least I know who you are
Yep.
better and have a deeper understanding of who you are. So I just think that again, it helps us get out of the cycle again of emotion. It gives us some direction, because a lot of times those conversations get kind of thrown off track because we start in one direction. We start talking about I don't feel protected, and then now we done turned down a different street, and it's like, wait, hold on, let's come back to what we're talking about.
We a whole post now. Like
Yeah,
we going to
yeah,
we
like, what are
brought
we
in
doing?
all of the side conversations. Yeah. Hey sis.
Hey, so I think those are helpful, for an individual to go into saying, okay, let's talk about these things instead of let's just stay at, we should go past, but staying at this is how I feel, or this is how they make me feel, or, let's, we have some things in common. Like all of those things are great, but none of those by themselves, or even a few of them by themselves, don't mean for a good and healthy relationship.
Yep, I agree. I think some of these games, Shaquita, that's a great comment, by the way. I think Bro's gonna put it up here in a minute. But I think some of these relationship trivia type games that are out right now, they've been around for a while, but they're like really resurfacing now. And there have been some new ones that have popped up from folks in our generation. So they're asking some very pop culture-ish, but very relatable questions that well, yes, it's a game. Like if you really look at and have the conversations, pull a card tonight. You're having dinner, pull a card, have a conversation. Something simple like that, so that you can still get it out and discuss the things. Some things are going to be deep, some things are going to be ha ha he he, and they might spin off to other things. But every time you learn something new, you have a different level of intimacy. You have a different level of conversation. There's trust that's being built when you have that, because now we can laugh together, we can laugh at each other, we can laugh with each other. I can now give you a little bit. You might not have liked that answer. It might not have been a deep one. We might have dug a little bit, and we had a different conversation, and now we've got a different setting for when we do dig deep. We know what this looks like and can move. So I think those are for those folks that don't like talking and here you go. Like, do not bring me a list of questions. Like, don't do that. And I like questions. Like,
I don't think you do a list, but like,
right.
I like
I mean, some people who aren't comfortable with talking like this would think, okay, these are the questions. So we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. If you don't have the tools or the experience to make it not weird, I can see a lot of folks say, okay, these are the questions we got to ask. They say, get a game, y'all. Make it easy. Get a game. Do a card or so a night. Taking a trip, doing a road trip, pull a card. No, wait. Don't. Pre-screen your cards for a road trip. Pick the fun cards for the road trip. You might need some reporters if you got some deep ones. And road trips might not be the way. Take that.
It depends on where you're going and how long you're gonna be in the car. Let me say that.
Yeah, that's why I say pre-screened questions. You'd be like, nope, not this one. We'll do that one when we get closer to the house. Save the deep ones when you get on that home stretch, when you start recognizing where you at. That's when you start to maybe pull out a deep one to take you on to the home front.
Yeah. Or at least one that you know that's volatile. That's not gonna be. It's gonna be volatile.
Yeah.
You're not ready
As soon as I said that, I was like, do not put me in a car, and I want to be out of the car, and we can't go nowhere. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, I've done like I do those. Like so, I just put in a link for it's a even if you don't want to buy the game, this is 300 relationship questions that you could ask, and I think some of those, again, not all of them, but some of them are really good. Like you said, just for getting to know you type thing. So you can you can figure out go in between like there are sometimes like for me like if there's things that I want to know like a certain area that I want to know like Shanae just said like if I want to talk about like sex and your thoughts on sex then I got some questions about that, let's talk about that. If there's questions about finances, let's talk about like questions on those. So I think you do have to first do use some wisdom as to when and what questions
That's a good way to put wisdom. Don't pre-screen for the fun cards. Use wisdom, people.
But don't. I also think that, like you said, but there, what we can't do is not avoid the hard questions.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want us to do. Like, don't
Get in
avoid
there,
the hard questions because then you'll be sitting there wondering how come I didn't know. Oh, you didn't ask, and y'all didn't have those conversations. So, read some of these comments. Let's see. Everything. I agree with everything stated. We need to discuss what triggers us and why. Absolutely.
It's coming.
Absolutely.
Wait for it.
I agree. Real-time discussions are usually too late because the button has already been pushed, and resolution is harder to reach because emotions are already involved.
Amen.
Yep. I think even though I absolutely agree with him, but I think even still in those when it's too late, it's good to have because at least then you can address what you've done. And it's like, oh shoot. So that's why you get like when we do
this. This is why you get like
I thought it was that. And it's okay.
Yeah.
And you can apologize and move forward. And the other person now can stop whatever feelings they have, resentment and all that stuff that they might have to be holding. Those they can get rid of those. So I have some and they're fun, really helpful. Absolutely. Yeah, don't ruin the trip.
Let's not.
We don't want to ruin the trip. Shanae says, switch to the sexy game when you almost reach the destination to light the mood. Yeah, that will definitely. But don't go too hard before because then ain't nobody interested in lighting the mood after you talk about.
Wait, go. I wish you would have. No, I ain't doing none of that. Oh, that's what you want? You might not ever.
You said this, you think you gon'? Yeah, don't do that.
That wasn't what you was talking about earlier. That ain't how you felt.
What she said while we're reading comments, I just have to say we acknowledge Q and the way she shut the internet down with all that be all. Talking about the pictures the other day. Is that what we talking about?
I think so. Yeah. Thank you, sis. We had a very good time for my Kelly's birthday. We had an amazing time. Live music is so my jam. Homie on the saxophone did that. Saxophone is my favorite instrument. Period. Dot. The damn end. Like there are others that I like a lot, but the sax is my jam. And homie, he loves the sax as much as I love the sax. Okay. I don't know, homie on the sax. If I knew his name, I would have said his name. Homie on the sax. But it was a young lady who sang. And then Freddie Noel sang, don't. See why you put me on First Street like that? The nice brother on the sax. But then and Freddie Noel sang afterwards, and per usual, because that man, I know his name, okay, that's my girl Jay's husband, and he sings the roof off, and we had a really, really, really good time. Girl, please. Go on now. Oh, that was Shaquita. For whatever reason, I thought that was still my mama's thing up there. I was gonna say, Mama, don't do that.
No, it did have her picture up at first, but
Oh, okay. I was so confused. I was like,
yeah, it didn't switch the pictures up right away.
okay, good deal. But yeah, it was a really nice time at ICE. We enjoyed it. Thank you, sis.
Yeah,
That is too funny. My bad, Shaquita. Yes, about the sex we was talking about. That threw me. I was
that's
like,
not the conversation you want to have with your mama. Is that what you're
no,
saying?
but I was gonna think I'm 3 babies in and a whole marriage. We was asking me about the sex.
You know, they just can't. They just appeared. The babies just appeared.
No, most mamas, but me and my mama will have different kind of conversations. So I was like, girl, that's what I didn't connect to. Like, what? Yes, mama, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
No, I don't want to have that conversation with mine, but I didn't want to bring it up anyway. All right, let's go. So this one says, normalize admitting you are too good for some people and situations. Is this thinking too much of yourself? Is it a necessary part of growth?
I don't think it's thinking too much of yourself. If you apply this to some people, like if you apply this logic to appropriate situations, if you just count everybody off as you too good for everybody, then that to me is a character flaw. Like if everyone, just if you are the prize all the time to all the people with all the things, then set out somewhere. But there are some things that you should at some point in life, if you are working on self and there are some things at some point you should be too good for, and some people you should be too good to fool around with, like, period. It sucks sometimes because there are people that you really still want to fool with and things you still want to do and wish they could be something on the next, but
Yep.
they not. So at that point you have to move on. That don't mean they have to be like damned and you got to talk crazy about them and everybody that's still down there. That just means it's time for you to no longer engage with that.
Yeah, I would say I had never experienced this in any other area except when it came to business. I think in business where this really hit, where and obviously because you've been there for a few of them, where you realize that some people you guys just don't have the same goals, visions, other stuff. And so you just have to, I don't know. I would say that in those instances, I don't necessarily classify as too good, but I just say different. Now, let me rephrase that. I've actually also experienced this in other areas where I've had to tell myself, like, no, you are too good to deal with this low level stuff. And I've also had to be told that in certain areas too, where there are certain things I wanted to continue to do, certain people I want to continue to hang around, and inevitably it's like, you know what, the expectations that are on my life are different than others, and so therefore I have to recognize that, embrace it, and move on. So so there are certain, like I posted earlier today, there are some places I realize I just can't go. And some people I just can't fool with. And to your point, what I do totally agree with is that doesn't mean that I have to verbalize that I'm too good for or wish them any negative. It's just, and it doesn't mean I can't support them on their journey. It just means that when it comes to what I need to do, I have to focus on that. So, and it's not fun at times too. So a lot of times it's not fun at all.
Ooh, that's the truth right there, Shanae. Yeah. But it is. It's so true. And it happens in every in business, in relationships, at work, like all kinds of but what's funny and what makes this so personal it's expected everywhere else. It's expected, it's encouraged just about everywhere else until you start having relationships with people. When you start when you start talking about moving on from individuals, then people want to get all in their feels. Oh, wait. Oh, now it's a personal attack. But when it has anything to do with work, business, even other people in business, well, you got to go and move on, which, time to move on. Like, everyone can clearly see the end and be okay with it until you start talking about ending relationships with people. And it doesn't even have to be with them personally. You can tell someone else that you think you've outgrown, or it's time to move on, or this person don't really fit. Ooh, you sure, girl? You can't. We gotta be there for people when they go through, and you done got too good. And that, like, why do we do that when it comes to what is it about the personal where we feel that we have to stay there, but in every other area, new is the net is what's expected. And if you stay in this place for too long, people start asking, why are you still here? Why you good? Like, can we help? But everywhere else but they'll watch you stay in this stagnation on the account of people and question your why. Listen, I'm done. Y'all feel me? I see y'all get, like, I don't know why we do that. Why do we do that? I've caught myself doing it and having it done to me, and I have to go back to myself and think.
Now that's where it gets interesting when you realize it's being done to you. And I'm like, hey, you do what you got to do. I'm good.
You like it so much, you go do it. You go. They'll be available very, very soon. You know what I mean? That's what you start telling people shit like, hey, I'm trying to give them to you if that's what you want. Like, because when it comes to friends and all that kind of stuff, it's just so interesting. And that is one of that is one of the things that I really had to take back to myself and think and reflect on, where is this coming from and why? Where does this fit? This perspective fit? Not only in our relationship as why they think this works for us, but in what I've observed.
I think what you said is actually the thing is probably the first thing is to realize, is to ask the question, where is this coming from? Because I think where my struggle initially was with this statement was because we like to think when we hear this, and this answers your other question, why people have an issue, is that when people hear this, their assumption is that you are saying this from a place of arrogance. Instead of realizing that I'm saying this from a place of purpose. I'm saying this from a place of destiny. I'm not saying, again, that's why I said it's not about dragging somebody else. No. This is really about allowing me, giving myself the room to really spread out, really take off and do the things that I need to do for myself. Because ultimately, if this I'm now at a place like where it's like, if this relationship is for me, it has to elevate me. It has to elevate me, or I have to recognize that this is no longer, or understand what it's for. Like when
are we gonna get to the elevation? If not now, like, when is it coming? Like, we gotta have a strategy to get to the next, or else this ain't gonna work.
Right. Well, like I said, I just have to place you in the right place. Like, I have people who their sole purpose is fun. That's it.
Yep.
Fun. That's it. That's it. That's it. I have no interest in it, just fun.
Yep. And I love them for that, because people like us need strictly fun people. Like, we need a few folks sprinkled around and just show up and say, nope, fun.
But you have to recognize that's what that person is for, and not try to take them into a dimension of your life that they're not meant to be.
Agreed. Completely.
And that could be difficult. That's why I think it's hard for us to say I'm better than some places and better than some people, because we think it's arrogant. And it's not arrogant. If it's from a place of arrogance, that's not healthy. But if it's a place of really of purpose, then that's right where you want to be. You need to recognize who is there pushing me to my purpose, who is there supporting, elevating, calling out the blind spots for me that I have as a human. So I'm okay with it. I'm
It
okay
gets
with it.
much easier as you identify your purpose. I think this gets much easier.
Yeah, I think, and also now I'm gonna speak for Winfred Burns second. It also gets easier when you are in a healthy place for yourself.
Mhm.
Because when I can speak for when it's difficult for me, it's difficult because I feel like, man, I ain't got no other friends. And so if I lose these, though I have no problem being by myself, after a while, you go through this so many times.
Excuse
Like,
me.
I want to be by myself all the time. Like
Yeah.
I'm not always. So that's for me when it becomes difficult
Mhm.
and to have to do this and to have these make the necessary changes. So that's for me. So
I feel seen too. I'm gonna piggyback on that, as like we like to say. There's certain places that we're a little more tender, so we cover, we give them a little more. Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
See, Danielle says I wouldn't say too good, but I've outgrown. Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes you outgrow people. That's true.
Mhm.
We are not for everybody. Praise God, and that's true. That's true. That's true, and it's hard to come to grips with again. Especially, jeez, Lord, like I just especially when there are relationships that you never thought would come to that. But
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
I've been there with a circle of women. I grew out of gossip once I realized gossip is just unrecognized envy. That's good. I healed and they didn't, and I became a gossip topic. Mike says,
Mhm.
can't take everyone with you. That's true, Mike. Absolutely true. Growth can be uncomfortable, but it's so worth it. There comes a time when you
Grow and go.
must grow and go. There you go.
Mhm.
There you go. Uh, so there's really no need for an announcement. We will naturally gravitate to our level. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 Purpose and destiny. Absolutely. It takes growth. Ooh, that's good. It takes growth to recognize their role.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep. 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 Absolutely. Daniel says not arrogance. If you genuinely care for the person, then you can understand. Yep.
Mhm.
I think it might for some it might take a while, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if you don't, and if you give that information, if you do it in a way that is loving and careful of the feelings, I think a person, even though it might not be an easy transition, they'll have an understanding. It might take them a minute to be okay with it, but I can have an understanding that I'm not ready yet, or I'm not going there yet. You know what I mean? I have people
Mhm.
who are doing things that I'm not doing, and while I would love to be doing them, I'm not ready to do those things. You know what I mean? But they didn't be like, get your weight up, not
Yeah.
yet. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't. It's not like that. You know what I mean? So I understand, and then I'm watching and learning. So I'll be ready next time. You know what I mean? So I think how you share matters.
Also, so let me say this too. Also, you know what makes this harder too? When you wait too long to do it.
Mm.
Sometimes what makes this hard is we know we're supposed to do it and we wait. Whew, we wait to do it. And
Mm.
then when it happens, it's a train wreck. And it's a train wreck because we knew 2 years ago we were supposed to have this conversation to make this change, but we didn't. And because we didn't, now it blows it up into something it wasn't supposed to. Out and
Mm.
amen.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Learn that lesson from me, y'all. Learn that lesson from me. All right. I always ask myself, are you able to add, correct, and protect my life? If so, I might let you stay. If not, you have to go. Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Any other thoughts or comments on that?
Mm-mm. Not after that. Mm-mm. You do that nutshell that one for you, girl. Go ahead, move on right along.
Oh, God. All right. Here we go. This is a good one. you have to be incredibly twisted to tell someone you love them when you don't even respect them enough to be honest or faithful. Agree or disagree? And the question is it ever okay to be dishonest or unfaithful? You have to be incredibly twisted to tell someone you love them when you don't even respect them enough to be faithful. Honest or faithful? Agree or disagree? Is it ever okay to be honest or unfaithful? All right.
This is some
Well,
aggressive language used in this kindness of me. We know how this person feels.
yeah.
I don't think you're incredibly twisted. I think that's a bit much. I don't think a person is necessarily incredibly twisted to do that. I think that it's messed up. It hurts. It sucks. It's not what you do. It is not in alignment with honor or respect or love, to be honest with you. It is not in alignment. Um, yeah. But I don't think a person is incredibly twisted. That says a lot. I think, and I think the reason why I take a little bit of that weight off of it because humans are dishonest and can be unfaithful
Mhm.
when engaging with other humans. So,
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's why it's not ideal. It's not what you do. It's not healthy. Any of those things. But players mess up. People mess up. Like, it's just it sucks. But
Yeah.
it is also a part of what happens in relationships.
You know what? This actually made me question how we define, or not so much define, but what we really think about love. Um, because I think on some level, it made me wonder: is there is our expectation that love keeps us from um, something like disloyalty or something like infidelity? And I would love to be like, oh yes, it does, but I don't
It doesn't.
know, because I feel like I don't know. I just really I have like this spin wheel of possibilities that it's like, because in reality you can love yourself and still be unfaithful to yourself. So, but that
And
doesn't necessarily
dishonest to
mean
yourself. You can look and lie to yourself every day. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, but then on the same other thing, I wonder if maybe I thought maybe it's not a question of love. Maybe it's a question of, whatever, something, what, like wholeness. Maybe I think maybe that's what I was thinking of. Like, is this an issue of wholeness? Or, because I think that some people, like secure people, are able, for the most part, not all the time, to say, to be honest, to be faithful, and when they're ready to be unfaithful in relationships, to just end the relationship.
Mhm.
So I think there's a level of, I don't know. I just have a whole lot of possibilities, a
No,
lot
it's a
of
really good.
gray.
It's a shiny train of thought to be riding on, bro. It's a bright and shiny train. But I actually love this question. I think we have kind of copped out with love. We have put a whole lot under the love umbrella. As far as that's all it takes. We have put love and then attached the titles that love relates to husband, wife, brother, sister, like all of these roles that we play are then defaulted that there's love attached and then there is forever attached to that.
Right.
And we
Mm,
assume
mm,
that all that needs to be done is the
mm.
attachment. There is nothing else that then is supposed to nurture and strengthen that attachment because life is going to constantly try and do this. To even those predestined defaulted spaces, life is going to create opportunities to detach. So the individuals in those situations, in those relationships, have to constantly, it is not a hard thing, but it is an intention. You have to intentionally, consistently, intentionally be engaged in loving and learning
Mhm.
the people that you're loving.
Mhm.
Or it's going to get harder and harder for that love to continue to flow. Then all you are dealing with is the role, is the expectation of the role or the title you hold
Right.
in that relationship. It's not so much about you anymore. It's about
Well, I think to
what you're
your point,
supposed to be doing.
I think to add to your point too, even if you are doing the necessary work to know
Mhm.
your person and those, it's still hard
Yes.
because because that takes a level of effort and
Yeah.
selflessness and a whole bunch of other stuff that um, that we don't necessarily, I think, again, I think it comes back to this thing of have we just made love this fairy tale feeling of
In a lot of ways.
butterflies and sunny days and warm, is that what we have made this movie love to be, when really it's nothing, when it is going to be like that at times, but it's also the ugliness of, to Shakira's point, of where you have to choose even when you don't feel like it, or when you don't like certain things that the person's doing, that you're still saying that I've chosen to be here. I've chosen to go through this process. I've chosen to do this
Yeah.
and to still love them and be loving to them, and myself through this relationship. So
Yeah, you have to um it was kind of like the submission conversation we had last week. It's or whenever we had the
yeah,
conversation. It's easy to do it when you agree.
yes,
Submission is like a no-brainer when I
yeah,
agree with the decision that I'm submitting to. But if I got a couple questions and this ain't the time for questions and we just gonna have to get it done, that's hard. That's different. You know what I mean? It doesn't take away any of the love that I have or my desire to submit, but it doesn't make it easy. I need to there's a different understanding that has to happen before we can get them questions answered, because we got to do business now. We got to take care of whatever it is we got to do. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing when it's hard to love a person, depending upon self-inflicted or life-inflicted. Sometimes the person is the reason why it's so hard to love them. You got to deal with that too. You know what I mean? But we don't give a lot of room for human to take place once you attach love to it. And I think when people who look at it from that, like who have taken some time to examine how people respond to relationships, I could see why people would be like, mm-mm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's if you are a person who thinks and isn't actually paying attention to cause and effect and how that ripples throughout your own, how you move with you, and then how you interact with other people, and how relationships change as soon as you attach love to them, or the title, or the whatever it is that is umbrellaed under love. Like, now all of a sudden everything shifts. The person, all them conversations we had with the games and the road trips and all that. Oh no, oh no. But
yeah,
see, you love me. Remember,
yes,
you
yes, yes.
supposed to, like,
You're
you know
supposed
what I
to
mean?
be. I would say a lot of people expect you that they could be abusive to you when you say, after you say you love them. Like, no, no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
no,
You can't.
no.
How
I
that
love
work?
you because you were respecting and uphold and paying, like, and now you messing it up, player. Like, pause. You need to pull them cards back out. Like, this is how we got to the love space. Like, review time. Like, yeah. But love is, as much as I love love, I think love can be fairy tales and fantasies and all of that.
Mhm,
But that happens after you focus,
mhm.
and you have to consistently keep that fantasy alive if that's the life that you want to live. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
and
not
for it to be
easy.
your reality. It can be
Yeah,
fantasy feeling, but be very much your reality. But that's work behind that. The people who live those lives and everyone's hashtag goaling, they have tough conversations. They get in there. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that we don't see that
a
looks
lot of stuff.
hard. It
Whole
ain't
lot of stuff.
cute. Yeah, it's not the cute stuff that
Whole
you.
lot of hard stuff.
Right, right. So it can happen. You just got to do the other not so fantasy work. You got to do some Cinderella prior to the ball work before you get to the ball.
To the ball.
Yeah.
Let's see a couple of these. All right. So Shanae says sometimes people genuinely do love you the best they know how. It's not to say you should accept them with it. I can agree with
That's
that.
true. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. I also believe people's definition of love is very dysfunctional. I don't think it's ever okay to be dishonest or unfaithful. Being dishonest happens, but it's not okay and can't really be justified. Instead of cheating, you should just leave. Staying and cheating is selfish. Let the other person be free from you. Yep, yep. So right, we've attached love with emotions when love is a will. Hmm. Mark says, "What's going on, six? It's easy to see red flags. It's difficult to have the discipline to make personal adjustments based upon their identification."
Mm-hmm.
You said
Mm-hmm.
something there, sir. You
Mm-hmm.
said something there, sir. Actually, I would amend this to say it's really easy to see red flags in others. It's very difficult for us to have the discipline to make the personal adjustments when ours are identified.
Yep.
We
There's
really,
two though. There's two because we attach, say this happens more with family, mother, daughter, father, son, like in the household
not that
things.
part yet.
You know,
Yes.
once that identification is now, all of a sudden, however way it's just okay because that's your mama, that's your daddy. You only get one. That's your brother. That's your, you know what I mean. Then you get all of those things. So regardless of how crazy, and you would never deal with said person under any other circumstances, but because they have this attachment, now everybody's like, you know, that's your, yeah, over there. Like, you, you know, so that's so yes to you, but I completely agree with the original comment too. Yeah. Yeah.
Martha's love is unconditional only through Jesus Christ. Everyone else can be cut off. Listen.
Agreed. That'll preach.
Listen. Jesus cut people off, so that's a whole, but throw a red flag on the play, Q. Yeah. She said, yes, you have to actually work towards creating the fantasy. It doesn't just happen.
Yes.
Absolutely. 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 Yeah. I think that we just have to, yeah, we've got to be really, 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 they say everybody can get
Everybody. Hey, when it comes to this piece here
Listen,
lately, it's the truth.
what
It's
I
the
tell
truth.
you, there is no price for peace.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's just how I
Nope.
feel. So, yeah. All right. What's this? What's the next one? Oh, I think Mark led us into this one.
Our flag and
Make
behavior
sure I'm doing.
coach.
Make sure I'm doing the right one. Yep.
Yeah.
So it says your best chance at a healthy relationship is to first to get honest with yourself about your own red flags and toxic behaviors. Do you know your red flags and toxic behaviors? Do you share them with your partner, or is it on them to discover?
Surprise.
Woo, woo. Father,
Surprise.
I strength.
Oh.
Woo, woo, Lord. When I read this question, I was like, whoo, whoo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just lay down with some oil, put some oil on myself, and just lay here. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Little brown baby bundle Jesus.
You know,
Woo-wee.
first of all, I agree.
But honestly, this one wasn't. I'm good with this one. Like
I agree
y'all
with it.
know, I have been on a self reflection journey personally for like the last. I'm probably 6 or so years now. So my shadow work and looking at me, I done a lot of looking at me. Like I'm there. I know my red flags and my toxic behaviors. I'm working on them and I own them, but I'm very familiar with them. Yeah, I know my triggers. I know, like, yeah, I've figured those things out about myself. And I'm pretty honest with my people about them. I can be, not just in my romantic relationship, but also in my platonic and like close, my people know me. They can know me. They can hear a situation or observe a situation and know how I'm going to respond most often. And they can be in real time with me, and I'll get that tap, or we do good with the eye contact. So like they know the subjects that get me
the triggers,
red flaggy, you know what I mean? Like, whereas like, no, you got your blinders up, and they've been able to call me on those things. I'm not sure if I'm missing some things. I would hope that the people around me would be honest enough with me to say, I'm gonna need you to see that and address it. You know what I mean? I would hope so, but I think I'm pretty open with sharing something. And I catch myself. I tell on myself in real time. Like, if I know that I'm tripping, if I know I'm doing something and I'm doing too much, I'll tell you, hey, I understand that I'm probably operating at I'm running a little hot right now. However, what I'm gonna say is still valid, because take the little oomph off of it and hear my words. You know what I mean? And I'll lead with that. So I'll set the stage for the cue you about to get, and own it. But sometimes I've learned that it's best for me and my relationships if I show up authentically in real time as me, and we're gonna deal with it. I'm gonna own what I gotta own, but we're gonna do what we gotta do at the same damn time. And that's worked out much better for me at this stage of my life than whatever it was I called myself doing prior to now. Just being honest.
Yeah. So I think first of all, the best thing for me is I know a lot of my red flags. I'm sure I don't know all of, or I'm fully aware that all of them are red flags, but I know quite a few of them. And I think that the great part for me is I'm now at a phase of my life where, like, I'm comfortable with the idea that I have red flags. So I know we've had conversations before where I told you I struggle with this idea that I'm not perfect all the time. Mm-hmm. And, and it might sound ridiculous, but that's just how I, in my mind, used to function. Whereas now I'm comfortable, like, no, you're perfectly imperfect, and that's good. And you have a good heart most of the time, so you good. Like, you're okay with, you can be human. You ain't got to be Superman. You ain't got to fix everybody's problems. You ain't got to, there's nothing that you have to put on for anybody.
Yep.
And I think stepping into that has been a huge deliverance. Use my words for me, because I just mess up and I'm okay. And so I think that's good, but I do agree with this statement that your best chance is to first get honest about yourself and your red flags and your toxic behavior. I think that is so important, because you can't be you can't expect a person to be their full selves with you if you can't be your full self with them. You can't expect someone to consistently do the work to love you and to want to be around you if you can't even do the full work to love you and identify what's going on with you. So you have to be okay with that. And for me, the beauty is that, because I know that one of my toxic behaviors is, sometimes, y'all might not believe this, but if I'm not careful, I can be a little judgmental. Because I have the ability to see a lot of stuff, I can pick apart a lot of stuff because I have a very analytical brain, and I have to find myself going, "Oh, you've been a little too judgmental today, sir. Slow down, pull that in, back that thing on up, and let that person be a person, because guess what? All your stuff ain't all together too." So it forces me to be a whole lot more merciful and a whole lot more gracious and a whole lot more just of a better person, because I recognize who I am. So even in my relationship, it's like, all right, yeah, she did that made me mad today. And I'm like, but you probably did some stuff to piss her off today too. So let's just be honest. Yes, Alyssa, I
totally agree with the judgy part. When you were talking, I read that toxic, because I was thinking, okay, I know my red flags, and I thought to myself, do you have toxic behaviors, because toxic is a heavy word. We've talked about toxic too, like everything's toxic now. But I know what, and I have the reference for what it means, and I thought, yeah, you are judgy as hell sometimes. You know what I mean? And as footloose and fancy free as I am for everyone, I do battle with that feeling for some of the same reasons, because I'm very observant. I watch a lot of things. I watch people, and it's not always in this moment. Like, I don't forget nothing. Like, I don't like there's a lot. I remember a lot of random details that seem random until we pull them things together, and it's like, boom. You know what I mean? See, told you. And then it's like, it makes sense. So I have to catch myself and realize that whatever foresight or all of the Blues Clues that I have collected aren't necessarily in front of everyone and being taken into account or even necessary at all the time. So I have to put that in my Rolodex, file that back, and then still move forward. I used to think I was cool just because I didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? I could be like, I ain't. Right. You know better. You know what I mean? And because I didn't say anything about it, I thought I was good until I realized that was affecting how I showed up, how I move, and I'm nope. You do you, baby. Do have fun, and mean it. Yeah, and actually mean it. That's different than that's like the blush. Ooh, must be nice. Like, I was giving must be nice energy, and I didn't like it, so I had to switch that up. Now I'm giving do you, yes, and meaning it, and now it's totally changed.
And I can't say I do the do you, but I think what I am is I give people room to grow. Yeah. Like I think before. So first of all, I think Alyssa too is because I put my expectations of myself on other people. So I recognize I do is if I expect perfection out of me, then I expect perfection and whatever out of everybody else. So I am super hard on myself when I mess up to the point of it's pretty it's bad. But so I recognize at time I was doing that to other people, and I'm like, first of all, they don't have your same standards. Secondly, they're on the same journey. They're not gonna like you have some privileges that they don't to see what you see. So like back up. Now it's like let God do what God gonna do, and them his people, not mine. I ain't gotta just be fine. You could. So I had to grow into that because I recognize, even though to your point, I might not say it. I probably wouldn't say it because again, at the end of the day, I recognize that people are people, but I still in the back of my mind I'd be like, let me be careful of this person because I see.
Oh no, I'll still leave you alone. See, that might be where we're different. I'll still.
I'm not saying I wouldn't leave you alone. I'm just saying in terms of the judgment aspect of it. I still will use wisdom, absolutely. But I'm saying like there's a level of judgment that's not healthy. And again, I'm also not one of those people that think that making a judgment is bad. I think condemnation is bad, but I think you should make judgment of people about who people are based upon what they do and what they say. That's two totally different things. But another show, another discussion.
Completely agree. That's the part where I was like, I will leave you where you at. Like, I'm gonna let you live, but that don't mean I got the room move in next to you. I will leave you where you at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel you there. Shanae says I'm pretty open about it. In that sense, I know most of my flaws, and I do check-ins like, hey, am I getting better at this? What would you say, this that's harmful or harmful to relationships or offending? Yeah. Yes, I tell myself to reel it in more as I get older. Yeah. People who lie to themselves in the mirror should not ask me for advice. It's no longer a secret. See, they still waiting on the water they need to grow. Well, here you go.
She will be the water bearer, honey.
I love it. I'm really trying to get to a space that, regardless of the situation, I see the trauma and pain in them versus the result of it. That's good. That's good.
Sometimes they just ugly. Sometimes they just mad and mean and bitter. And it could be the pain and trauma. That's not my ministry for everybody though. I'm not finna sit here and dissect and give all the grace to everybody. I'm gonna just leave you alone. I'm gonna stop talking to you, and that's gonna be me giving you your grace. I'm not gonna sit here and
I think that is
analyze
a form of
and
grace.
dissect everybody's thing. Yeah.
I think there is a graciousness in cutting you off.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you alone. Yeah.
So
I'll let you have that.
cut off ministry is a thing.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yes, Shaquita. Period. That's right. Sorry, go ahead with Amy. My bad.
I mean, it's true.
It is. So I'm like,
I used to say there's usually a trauma or pain attached to it, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I love you, Shanae. You're right. I mean, I know where that was coming from, but you know. It's rooted somewhere, but sometimes them roots run way too deep for me to even be trying to holler at.
Some roots you just need to leave down.
Yeah.
Just going about your life, huh?
It's not my. I know I've learned to let it go. Let some folks and situations go. My folks, I got all the time in the world, but this show has taught me I can't for everybody. Like I cannot for everybody at the level they expect. So I have to learn when to rein them in and let them run free. I really, really do. Yeah,
I get it. You know, I get that. Boy, you know, I get
that. Yeah. We have to pep talk each other on this often.
but
no. Delete, but turn off notifications, stop notifications.
But she's like, no. You down to 700.
Between that and Facebook, Jen, I'm thinking you gone and you delete them and you did my yeah. You don't have we gonna start thinking you a scammer in a minute. She ain't got enough friends. She oh man.
All right, let's see. Oh god. All right. Boundary. Yeah. This one will get used again, by the way. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and simultaneously loved. Excuse me, let me read that right. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. Agree or disagree? Are you comfortable with setting boundaries in your relationships?
I absolutely agree. Like this is a whole word right here. Yeah, boundaries are bae. I love them more and more each day. I am growing much more comfortable with setting boundaries. I am a recovering people pleaser and overachiever, which means I can do all the things for all the people all the time. And I'm tired. So I don't do that anymore as much as possible. I've gotten much better at saying I do not have the capacity and not feeling bad about it. I have gotten much better at telling people that doesn't work for me. I hear you. I get it. But no, that to keep rocking with me, we're going to have to stop doing that. And being okay with them choosing to stop rocking with me. I'm okay with that. I used to not be okay with that. I wasn't. I needed to talk. We needed to talk. Well, why? Well, it's not hard. I'm not asking you to do anything. Stop asking them people. Like, you know what I mean? Just let's move on. You know, I'm clear. I feel like I am a pretty strong communicator. My words make sense. I know how to use my punctuation and things. So when either it's verbally or written, if I say what I need and I express it, and then there's not happening, I feel we all understand each other. You know what I mean? Like we gained an understanding and an agreement that we're gonna move on now. I think I'm getting much better at that. The closer you are to me, the harder it is still. That is the struggle point. It is very difficult, which is why I have lots of associates. I know a lot of people. I am very cool with a lot of people, but the people that you see me deep with, like, the people I'm deep with, it's like this many. Kind of, you know what I mean? So like, those are the people that I am diligent.
You say you have maybe one or two too many there, man.
You see, I'm like, I'm consistent at showing up and engaging with those people. You see me with those people, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be there for others. But it's much easier to set boundaries with people that have not like gotten all down and through here. You know what I mean? That is still where I'm working on. But even with them though, because I know I struggle with that, they've helped me along. And when something ain't feeling right, they picked up on the other cues in me to be like, you good? What was that? What was that? Maybe not in real time, but they will come back. I noticed your whole everything changed. Michelle and Kelly are really good about picking up my body language and the things that I don't say, because I am real good for sitting in the cut and watching. And it's not necessarily with them, it's with others. Sometimes they say, you wasn't feeling that, were you? And I'll be like, what do you mean? Sometimes I don't even get it, but they'll pick up on how I will respond and react to other things or things going, people around me. So yes, it's gotten much easier to set those boundaries with support and practice. It has gotten much better.
Yeah. Let's see. I agree. I actually agree with the statement. Boundaries of the distance. I agree with the statement. I am depending. Yeah, I think I would say what you just said, that the closer you are to me, the harder it is for me to create boundaries. Because anybody who's close to me knows I want the best for them, and will and have um, um, this. I've hurt myself to try to help them. I think over the past probably 2 years, I've gotten much better at creating boundaries. Probably too good at it. When now I'll be like, I don't know. Look, I'll be like, where everybody go? Oh yeah, they standing outside the boundary. That's right.
Talking about wonder where they went. Over there,
Yeah.
where you put them,
Yeah.
where you put them, right
Yeah.
where you put them.
So I've gotten a lot better, but I still have moments where I have to remind myself, no, this is a boundary issue. This is not anything else, and I'm comfortable with it. I could do better.
Mm.
I could do better. But I've done, from where I was to where I am now. I'm very proud of my progress.
Oh yeah.
I'm very proud of even how I've done. What it's also done for me is it's actually given me time to do the things that are more important. That's really, for me, been the biggest benefit of having proper boundaries, because now I can take care of, the people closest to me better. I can, you know, all that stuff. Take care of myself a little bit better. I still got some work to do there, but that, for me, that's where loving myself comes in, because I can love myself better because I'm constantly giving and giving and giving. It's like, yeah, gotten all you're gonna get.
Yep.
Amen and praise God. So it's needed. It's very needed. I think so. I think for the people who I generally work with, the ones who this is hardest for are the ones who are struggling with what happens if they lose the relationship. Because I think for some people, especially, and typically, I'll be honest with you, I see this in a lot of ladies, that it's harder for them to let go of relationships, especially if it's a relationship that they have time in and with, because what happens if I don't get another man? What happens if or I can't get one as good as him? So I'll continue to have bad boundaries, for the sake of remaining in this relationship that I know is not completely fulfilling what I need and what I want. And it is not. It is here is one that I see a lot too, men and women, that as we have evolved and grown into who we are now, um, we recognize that our partner has not grown and evolved. And so, how do we deal with the dissonance between who our partner was and who we were and who we are, and the fact that our partner is still who he or she was? I see that a lot,
Mhm.
a whole lot.
Yeah. That conversation has been coming up a lot in a lot of different spaces.
Yeah.
I've had
We're in that age range, though. We're in that age range where
yes, I was just about to say I've had variations of this conversation over the last 3 months or so. I don't know if it was the fact that it was about to get hot or what. You know how folks do when the summertime comes. I don't know. But like there's been a lot of this conversation. And we've been COVID gave everyone this introspective time, everybody did a thing and got a thing. And for those that didn't, and you literally watched your person legit phoenix rise around you uninhibited for 2 years, so now everyone's coming out of that and looking like, who are these people? We share the same address and stuff, but who are these people? Kids, spouses, like our relationships have evolved, and especially the romantic ones. And that whole thing we talked about earlier, the default, the safety net of the love and the title and all that is not what it was. Because in addition to the evolution, we have also been chin checked at how short life really is. So folks don't have the same level of patience and grace that they had, not this like maliciously. It's a matter of necessity. And if somebody don't, this, you know what I mean? So like that is these conversations and the depth that they're at this point is so interesting. So interesting. We get brought into these kind of convos often, and man, it has been very interesting, intriguing, all of the things, all of the words, the ing words, it's that. All of those, that's it. Yeah, I was like, and these are from people of all ranges of relationships, social status, goal level, or everyone is thinking about this.
It's transitioning and shifting.
Yes,
And I think to your point, the pandemic started it, but I think this recession is making it that much more, a thing.
Yes.
It's like I have to be a lot more, aware of my resources, both financially as well as internally. I have to be a lot more careful with the things I'm doing, and then I have to be more focused on the things that I'm going after, because I can't be, we are in that age range where like wide does not work. I got to be narrow.
Yes.
And committed and straight and know exactly what I'm doing. And so a lot of extra noise and stuff just it no longer work. So I think what we're trying to figure out is how do we do that? And that's why while we were talking about like this difference, like there's this balance between having patience for the person, but then recognizing when it's time to let the person go, and how do you navigate that space? And that's like I said, can be very difficult because, again, if I'm focused on a goal, being patient with you might not work, because in my mind, you keeping me from my goal. So how do I have patience for you in this season when I'm trying to get to my next thing, and you, ma'am, sir, job, whatever, old way of thinking are trying to keep me here. And that's the difficult thing to try to navigate. And that's hard. That's hard.
Especially when you have a new sense of urgency.
Exactly.
When not only is there a goal attached to it, but there is a significant sense of urgency, and someone is saying, but wait. Oh, right. But wait. Did you not hear
I've been waiting.
I gotta go. Like, I got to then that is a conflict. Like, you literally stuck. Like, I'm cool. Like, but I still must move. Like it's time to move, you know? So yeah, that's
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's very difficult to navigate. It's very difficult. And it's really even difficult to articulate to other people around you because they don't recognize, a lot of times because they knew you before, they don't recognize the you now. And so
Right.
they don't understand that them doing what they're doing is not helping you. It's really hamstringing you from trying to go at the speed that you're trying to go. And so it's like, listen, I'm trying to move at this pace, but you're not cooperating to help. You're not giving me the gas
Yeah.
that I need to go fast. You just like a big weight that's keeping me slow, and I need you. At least that's how it feels. And I need you to not be that.
And then you become selfish, and you ask yourself, how am I the selfish one when I literally have the moves to make? And I'm stuck. You know what I mean? Like this is what's been, that's the gaslight that happens because don't leave me. Oh, don't leave me. But how dare you think of you? You know what I mean? Like that is the manipulation that we play with the people in our lives that we say that we love.
And listen, and then, whew, and then let's throw this in there. And then as you're doing this, then they have that other person, the thing has the audacity to actually start acting jealous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the gaslight. That's the manipulation.
Right.
So now if I care, if I love you, now I got to come deal with whatever this has created, which is now still slowing me down. Like I have still yet to finish my thing. So but that is the thing. Oh, well, I couldn't talk it through you. I couldn't talk it to you to make you stop. So now I gotta distract. I gotta put literal things in the way. Because you didn't hear me the first time.
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a yeah. Yep. What's she say? Let me go to these comments. I feel like the last 2 years have been chin checking me, but the change it has brought. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lockdown made everyone spend a lot of time looking at their partner in the mirror. Yep. Let's see. Yes, I'm focused. Distractions have to be eliminated or reduced. Mm-hmm. I got ish to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. All right. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that one up there. All right. Richmond. All right. I'm on Richmond. Especially when one has grown and the other is in process, they think you're trying to completely outgrow them. Yeah, no, that's not the case at all in most instances.
Yeah, it's not even about the person most of the time.
Let's hit the gavel and say you are dismissed.
Said auntie.
How dare you progress without me? You think you're better than me? When you get to where you're going to leave me. Mm-hmm.
Stop interrupting my grind.
That's my grind. I haven't heard. Is that the new one of the new songs?
No, that is the old song from the Lemonade. I ain't sorry. I ain't sorry. I ain't sorry. Hell no. You don't remember that? Link coming soon. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm gonna have them up on it by the end of the night, ladies. Yeah. See, that's why I put the spin on it because you wasn't even gonna do it right. I interrupted my grind. That's what she was hollering at Jay-Z when he was on that extra.
Oh, okay.
That's from Lemonade, honey. Okay. That was the black and white video when Serena was twerking. Kind of.
Oh, I seen the video, but I don't.
Yeah. I bet you saw the video. Oh, I bet you saw the video. Okay. Oh, he gonna get schooled. I'm gonna drop the visuals and the music by the end of the night. We good. He'll be ready for the release by the 29th. Don't worry.
Oh, God.
Yes.
All right. Good question.
Yes.
Good question. All right. Elegance by design.
obsessed. It makes it so much easier to comb my hair. Like, I'm working it through with my hands, and I can manipulate my hair with my hands because it's so moisturizing. It's so fire. Like, and my curls love it. Like,
What's the rest of the video?
I don't know what happened, but she's just continuing to gush about how wonderful the Do Me Daily Moisturizing Cream is. So yeah, no. But that is my cousin Stasia, who, as you can see, loves the Do Me Daily. But Stasia is not alone. Okay, this is legit one of my best-selling products because they purchase it two or more, because this is legit one that the babies own up, whether you're doing ponytails for your tender-headed child and you don't have a whole lot of time to do a different product and all that other stuff. Shampoo, condition, Do Me Daily, do it. Done. Like, that is this product for your littles. If you are loose natural, like to wash, you rock your puffs and your wash and goes and all that, this product gets it done. And you don't need to do a whole lot of styling. You don't need to add all this extra to your hair. This product is, I love it because it adds the moisture that you need, but it does not weigh your hair down. That's the kicker. And y'all know I am still very much team Sexy Shea Butter as far as like your protective styling. If you want to lock in, seal in your moisture, I'm team Sexy Shea. But Sexy Shea can be heavy, as light and wonderful as it is. If you have a loose curl pattern, or for the babies who, that slick back, Sexy Shea can be a little heavy. The Do Me Daily is the sweet spot between the two. It is light, it distributes well, but it is potent, honey, and it is going to get all down through them strands, literally root to tip. So Do Me Daily Moisturizing Cream, elegancebydesign.com. Going to get you one or two of them. Throw it in the bag. For all of the family. Everybody. Yes, Alyssa. Weightless Moisture. This is the product that I literally have been able to sell to everyone, regardless of your race, your gender, your hairstyle, your hair type. It is one of the most versatile products that I offer. And y'all know I love to boast about the versatility. This one checks the boxes, and it smells good. Oh my God, it smells good. Like, I cannot tell you about the scent of this product enough. It smells delicious. You're muted.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good. I started using it for my beard.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Because I love, and I'm like, oh, this smells so good. Let me put this in my beard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's good. And
it smells good. I know Jamie be like, ooh, Do Me Daily Moisturizing Cream. Is that Do Me? Yeah, see. Mm-hmm. Sis, if you listening, put that one in your back pocket. Say it like that. Say it like that.
All right. Where we at? Let's see. We did, once again, y'all, if you have not gone over to our Patreon and signed up, go and do it so that way you could be a member of our Scoop. That you already are, but that you can continue to help us grow this platform, grow this show, and provide even more exclusive content. So, like we said earlier, we've got our half scoop, full scoop, and double scoop. You can go to patreon.com/Real Scoop Show and just check out the different packages, what you get, and pick one. Mm-hmm. As you can see, we're not trying to hit them pockets too hard, but we're trying to get some people who trying to get some help around here so Winfrey can stop doing all of this messing up all of the video and all the other stuff that I be messing up. So yes. So go ahead and do it. Patreon.com/Real Scoop Show. All right. Where's it at? Right. Is this the right one? I feel like I'm missing something. I guess it is. Okay. See, this is why we need help because I don't have to think I'm messing something up.
You
So
really
it's
need to love yourself
go for it.
before you get into a relationship. Yeah. Is loving yourself solely your responsibility? What if you don't? Do you not deserve love? You really need to love yourself before you get into a relationship. Is loving yourself solely your responsibility? What if you don't? Do you not deserve love?
It's a good question.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Good question.
We've done a lot of qualifying of folks for for companionship here lately.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that you should love yourself before you get into a relationship.
Mhm.
I think this question, or my response to this question, reminds me a lot of the questions about we talked about healing.
Yeah.
Um, so my response to the questions about healing, what I mean is there's a level of healing that and love that you can have for yourself before you get into a relationship. Like you should be healthy as possible.
Mhm.
But you won't really know how well you love yourself. You won't really know how much you have healed until it is done in the friction and in the fire of a relationship. Because relationships are the crucible that brings out how we feel about ourselves, our real toxic traits, how we really respond to red flags. Because outside of relationships, there's no pressure.
Yep.
And so when there's no pressure, there's no need to perform properly. So you can you are willy nilly free because you don't have anything to test what you say you are or believe or anything like that. So yeah, I do think you need to really love yourself, but I don't think you'll figure that out about how much um, maybe not even so much how much, but where or what stage of loving yourself
Mhm.
you really are in. Because even if I'll stop there. Go ahead.
No,
I'll stop.
that's real, and because the consequence of not. So let me answer. I do agree with the statement. I do think that there needs to be a healthy, um, steadfast, like foundation of love that you have for yourself. Meaning you've set a boundary and you set boundaries and expectations for what it looks like to love you. I think that is absolutely necessary. The consequence of not having that in place um, is the possibility of more trauma, hurt, less likelihood of loving yourself fully because you've allowed you it's much easier for you to allow someone to
Yep.
not until you can identify what loving you looks like when there's nothing to be gained other than feeling the love, you know,
Hmm.
it's hard to identify what it looks like in someone else. So with respect to the healing and all of that, you know, because I don't think and we've all got something that we're healing from that we've been through that's still soft scab, that's kind of a little you pick at it just a little bit and you know we back at it again. We all have those, and I don't think that should hinder us from moving into relationships per se, because I think you should also be accountable and own your potentially healing, your in progress reactions to things, and be willing to receive that back when someone tells you
Hmm.
that's that thing right there, you know, let's talk about that. um that's different than not having a sense of love of self. The consequence of not having that does not lead to love. And I think again, expecting the spouse to create the foundation for the love of yourself is a power you do not want to give to another human solely. There is a responsibility that they have for showing up for you and then pouring more love into
Right.
you.
Right.
But they should not be the sole source of your love for you. No.
Oop.
No. Your light should not depend on someone else's oil. That's not how that works.
Good. That's good. Absolutely. Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's putting undue pressure on them. And I also think it inhibits our ability to really experience the type of relationship that we're really looking for. Because even if we're entering to the relationship with the desire to be loved, a part of us being loved is how we give it, and we can't even give love well
Yep.
if we're not in a good place with ourselves, because now it becomes just desperation and a whole bunch of other stuff that's just not good. So so I think that you definitely have to put yourself in a position where you're at a good, like I said, I like how you said, a solid foundation of love for yourself. That yeah. Okay. The other part of it I want to speak to is that if the relationship were to go bad, because this is an assumption that this relationship is going to be good, if
Yeah.
this relationship was to go bad, then you now have the proper ability to recover and respond and process what happened in the relationship well, because even healed people still break up.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
not that you actually heal people probably break up
More.
more, and
Right.
hopefully they do it better.
Because they're honest with
So
themselves about what's needed. Yep.
absolutely, and they
Yep.
recognize this ain't gonna work, so let me get out. But like I said, hopefully it's better. But at the same time, it still happens. So you're able to then say, you know what, listen, I'm good with me. So this relationship did not
Mhm.
work out. That I don't take, what I mean, I don't go down this dark path of woe is me. I'm a terrible person. Curse the day you were born, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you know what, you're able to process and say, okay, yeah, I did make some mistakes there. I didn't do this well. I didn't do that well. I'm gonna do that better next time.
Yes.
All right,
Yep. And be
let's
okay.
let me be okay. I'm okay. That just didn't work. That wasn't the right person, or this was the wrong season. I don't, and you're able to do that. That's what loving yourself does. Is it doesn't it puts us in a good place in the relationship. It puts us in a good place outside of the relationship, and even before that, so let's just remove the context of romantic relationships. It
Hmm.
makes us good friends.
Yeah.
Like, it makes us good co-workers. It makes us good
Hmm.
employees, entrepreneurs, because all around, and we're able to treat people better because we feel good and healthy about ourselves first.
Yep. Yep. So true. So true. We show up when you can show up for you, it becomes evident to everyone around you you're different. There's something about you that you bring differently. I think when we're lacking that self that um when we lack the confirmation that we deserve love, and in such a with a standard attached to it, it puts us in a very needy place, that for people who are either already there or also en route, it frustrates, it antagonizes movement. Because if this person has already gotten there and they good with them, and we just got this thing to do, that now is a because why I gotta babysit you through this grown ass people thing, you know what I mean? And then if you bring that energy to a person who is in the same space as you, now that's overwhelming. I'm doing good just to show up as me to do the things that I'm hoping somebody tell
Hmm.
me to do. Now I
Hmm.
gotta do. Now you looking for me to tell you to do something too. So like this ripples and trickles down on other humans who are also in a varying state of love too. So we're asking others for stuff that is, so that part is on us. And then we only add to our hurt when we put that on other people, and that's not their job, and they respond accordingly. And now we've also internalized that. We put that deep down inside too.
That's it.
Worry about yourself first
That's it.
when it comes to the love thing, because
That's
it
it.
ain't in other folks. Yeah.
But and what does that go back to? It goes back to, it starts with, we give from the overflow.
The overflow. Yep. Gotta take it off the top.
We
You gotta thank
gotta
the Lord first and
stop giving people the things, the time, the energy, the space, whatever, all of that stuff that is supposed to build us up and sustain us and grow us. So the water, like your mom was saying earlier, the water that was supposed to be for us to grow, we then gave to everybody else.
Yeah.
And now wondering why we dry. Our roots are dry. So
yep.
That's a lot of it.
It starts center. Most often than not, it starts center.
Yep. I'm gonna be honest. I'm going to say everything starts there. I will take it to that step. I have yet to find a thing that doesn't start with me. Now I might not, you know what I mean? Like I might not be able to necessarily control the outcome of everything, but I can control myself, how everything affects me. And how I'm gonna, I can do my part. But yeah, I think it always starts with us.
Yeah.
And then we kind of can go from there to say, like how they gonna navigate that part is them. Like I just got to deal with me, and how I showed up, and how I processed, and how I loved, and how I, did my part well for the organization. Like, and that could just be me. That could just be the way I.
Yeah, because I'm playing with that because